Thank you, Full Stack Academy, for letting me have the opportunity to talk about a genuine personal passion of mine, giving back. My name is Darren Wu. Join the movement, teach kids how to code. As full stack students, we know coding is the foundation of success in any 21st century career path. As we move forward as professionals in this field and establish a career, I hope we realize the importance of giving back. Giving back can obviously be in many forms, and I applaud any type of giving back. However, today I'd like to talk about education and teaching kids how to code as a type of this form. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to spark an interest and you too will have the inspiration to teach future generations how to code. As adults, we know learning how to code is very important, but it is also important that we teach kids how to code, making sure the American workforce will be skilled and competitive for the generation after us. In my opinion, teaching kids how to code at a young age is always good. Yet, others think teaching kids to code so early is pointless. For me, I disagree. Starting early is so important. And maybe some of you who are computer science majors or graduated with a computer science degree will agree, because I've heard of this so many times before. Maybe it was building a game as a kid that inspired you later as an adult to pursue an education in computer science. Because for me, that's exactly how it began. As a child, we were an immigrant family from Taiwan. We really didn't have much. My parents really couldn't afford to buy many toys for us or my brothers. But it was perhaps like, a typical Taiwanese immigrant family story. But I did cherish one toy my parents got us. They brought us a computer. It was an Apple IIc. It was a pretty expensive toy, and boy, it was cool. This is the computer I had when I was growing up. And I remember really enjoying games such as Lemonade Stand and Oregon Trail as a kid on that computer. That led to a curiosity. Could I make one of these games myself? And indeed, with my power of curiosity, imagination, and programming book on BASIC, I began coding my own Oregon Trail game, but with my own twist. No one survived no matter what choices you had made in the game. So the simple act of building something and coding early on really inspired me to become a software engineer later as an adult. Coding is also really empowering, right? You can build whatever you dream of. And if you think about it, as a kid, in a lot of ways, you're powerless. You must follow what your parents say or what your teachers say. But when you code, you can build whatever you want. As a child, you feel powerful. That's an amazing feeling. So you ask, if I wanted to teach kids how to code, how would I do it? Luckily, there's something called Scratch. What is Scratch? Scratch is a website/platform language used to teach kids how to program. It is free. It is also very popular in classrooms across the country, and it is open source, and perhaps you've probably heard of it or used it before. You can easily create animations, games, etc. Scratch basically allows users to use event-driven programming with multiple active objects called sprites. So what does that mean? Well, simply with Scratch, kids can write a program by simply dragging and snapping blocks of code together. Each block of code is color-coded to a category, making it easy for kids to find. And incidentally, it was created at MIT. So how did I come upon Scratch? About a year ago, a friend of mine asked me if I could create an after-school curriculum to teach kids about coding and robotics. The age group for these kids were as young as first grade all the way to sixth grade. Yes, first grade. Quite young, and some students have never even used a computer before. However, I jumped at the opportunity because it seemed like a fun challenge, and I really enjoy helping others learn. And furthermore, as an immigrant, I feel a strong responsibility to give back to this country, my country that I love so much, which has given me so much opportunities. But we had some major challenges, obviously. How were we going to teach kids as young as 6 years old how to code? What became apparent to me was that the curriculum had to be fun and energizing. It needed to be inspiring, especially at a young age. And that's how I discovered Scratch. Using Scratch as a platform, we were able to teach some fundamental skills. Analytical thinking. How do we go about solving a problem? And second thing is one problem at a time. Focusing on a small problem at a time, solving it, then moving on, Otherwise, your program will just get too complicated, and I'm sure you guys all understand this too, and nothing works at the end. And lastly, perseverance. Coding is hard. I actually created something called a Coding Black Belt Club, where students had to earn badges to become a black belt coder. Super successful. They really enjoyed that. And I believe these fundamental skills could be carried on into multiple areas of their education. It was just so much fun to see the kids grow as we finished the program. I'd like to give a quick live demo of Scratch by showing you. First is a rocket ship program, because what kid doesn't like a rocket ship? This was a starter project I showed the kids, and they would either build off of this or come up with their own inspiration. Secondly, I'd like to show you two projects that my students did. The names were Albert and Jaehoon, and they were both age 8, so quite young. And third, Scratch is also used by adults. So some of you might have known this, CS50, which is an introduction to computer science for like non-technical majors at Harvard, uses Scratch. And I'll just quickly show you one of their projects. So let me go do that. So let me show you the template rocket. And that is not working. Let's see. OK. Maybe I won't show you the template rocket. There we go. All right. Well, I don't think the internet is up. Well, I guess my talk will conclude here since I can't get the internet up. But essentially, I encourage all of you to go out there and give back and perhaps join Hour of Code, which is a great program. It's held once a year. And thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.